Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. FPL Davecorp here. As promised, once we mentioned in the last stream that FPL was live, I did promise that my next stream will be to give you a few ideas on where I'm standing right now with my different drafts, what I'm thinking about, and where I'm headed. Like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of changes really as we head towards our deadline of 21st August, because there's still the transfer window is still quite open, so we are still finding out who is moving and all of that. And obviously, we need to keep monitoring the preseason matches as well. See who is more nailed, who's getting a starting place, who's impressing, so that we get to know actually who will even start the season. Because one key thing that we need to note is, I think it's by law, by by the football laws, that those that did win the World Cup, I think, get a 3 week break. So when you put that into perspective, you do realize most of the players from Spain, from Argentina, who went all the way to the finals, may not be in position or in contention to start the season with their leagues. Now, it obviously, you'll notice through the drafts that we're going to talk about, that's something that I'm putting in mind. I'm giving at least more emphasis or more priority to players that I'm assured are going to be joining their teams for preseason, like in a week or even already with the teams already during preseason. So those are some of the things we need to keep on, especially those that did start. So players like Rodri, a number of those players that went all the way to the finals and will be allowed this 3 week break, which means they may not be in contention to start, especially the first games of the season, or even, for example, the Community Shield game as well. So we'll go direct to my draft one, and you will notice I called it the safe start. By that, what did I mean? For example, I'm going for a goalkeeper in Raya who is 6 million. Now, with that, you do realize that's a very expensive goalkeeper, but obviously for someone that kept has won the Golden Boot, I think 2 or 3 times in a row now, you understand why his price has raised to that amount. So he's the one in goal. At least you're always assured of the clean sheets with him, and I know with the absence of Saliba, sometimes it weakens the Arsenal defense, but I do believe they have created a team whereby they are well equipped, at least to always be able to handle no matter the different changes as far as last season was concerned, really. So my defense, I do have Jaya Cunha, who plays for Nottingham Forest. They're playing Leeds. We do have Maguire, who had enough rest because they were not called for England. So I do believe that fixture for Hull City is one to target. Hull in the championship, I think, finished sixth, but then they went to the playoffs and were able to qualify through the playoffs. So I believe that's one of the fixtures that we might have to target. Obviously, we have no idea, so we are yet to see how all these different teams will be adjusting to the Premier League. But I feel like that Manchester United fixture is one to target. And you will notice in this specific draft, I actually did give Bruno Fernandes, whom I talked about yesterday, as my captain ahead of Haaland, because I do believe Bournemouth is one of those teams that does sell off a number of players, but it has enough backup, or its recruitment is quite good in that they rarely they rarely suffer. Because I believe the previous season they also offloaded a number of players like Kakes. Quite a number of players really had to leave. Also, one of the defenders went to Real Madrid, but their team still performed above expectation. Obviously, they do have a loss of a manager, but I do believe Bournemouth is one of those that has those structures whereby they do survive. So you'll notice also Mosquera is added in my defense. I wanted to also budget defender for Arsenal, just to keep someone like that. Obviously, someone like a Timber would have a higher ceiling because he has a higher chance of, for example, creating an assist or even scoring a goal every now and then. But his price is quite high as well. Then in my midfield, you'll notice it was between Palmer and Rogers. Chelsea is one of those teams that I feel like is going to benefit a bit more for us in FPL because of their lack of participation in Europe. So them participating specifically in the Premier League, I think, will give people like Rogers, Joao Pedro, and Palmer quite, I think, a good run in our FPL teams. I do have a budget midfielder in Ghana, Soboslai, who really started for Liverpool last season. Bruno Fernandes, as earlier mentioned, I hope he does get the rest because he was really out of it in the World Cup, and hopefully he can be able to get back to his best for the Premier League. And my striking line was being led by Joao Pedro, who plays Fulham, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was also good for me towards the end of last season, plays Nottingham Forest, and Haaland, who would be my vice captain in this case. As you'll notice, the bench is really weakened. It's quite weakened. Still in goal, Thiaw, Burrows, and lastly Thomas as well for Aston Villa. So that is how we're beginning to build up our teams. And obviously, like I mentioned, the teams are going to change quite a lot towards our deadline. But it's something good that at least we keep on building towards that and keep on seeing how our teams evolve. Now we have a draft two that I did create. The attack did not change much, but it's a bit more aggressive. Now Verbruggen is one of those people that I think was also performing very well last season. I think he was the third or fourth best goalkeeper with the highest scoring last season. So he's always a safe bet to go with. I did go with Jacket as well for Liverpool because of Van Dijk being quite high, and I believe he's going to be a starter because he's the replacement that was brought in for Konate. He's currently flagged, but at least with the information we've gotten that he should be fit for preseason, so he should be able to start the season unless anything changes. Guehi is in as well, which is a good cover for Manchester City, and as well as Mosquera. Mosquera doesn't change in both teams because I feel like he's going to be one of those steals. In midfield, I go for someone like Mbeumo. So in this one, we do not have Bruno Fernandes, but we go for Mbeumo, who has a good ceiling. Someone who goes for someone like Cunha is also, I feel, very good enough. Now there's a triple up on Chelsea because of the advantages I mentioned earlier. So you get to see Rogers, Palmer, and Joao Pedro in this draft. Then obviously Soboslai, who I feel like is still a good backup for Liverpool. He is on set pieces, obviously, and we saw his magic last season. And I think now I'm a personally Liverpool fan, as most of you know, but I do believe Soboslai should be on the penalties now that Salah is gone. So that is one of the main reasons why he's still appearing in both drafts. I believe, okay, we are yet to find out obviously in preseason, but I do believe he should be taking up most of the set pieces as well as the penalties with Salah gone now. That is something that we look forward to see and understand. Anderson is also in the team, who had one of the most DEFCON benefits from last season. So I do believe he can maintain his starting position. Like I mentioned, Rodri may not be in contention to start the season. So I do see a starting position for Anderson, which should be good enough for him. Haaland is a no-brainer, and in this team, he would be my captain. In this kind of setup, he would be the captain. Like I mentioned about Bournemouth, it's one of those teams that can surprise you as it did last season. I think it managed to beat most of the big four, big six teams. And yeah, they have lost the coach who has now moved to Liverpool. So we will wait to see how they start the season and how they perform or how they adapt. But it could be also a team to target. And Haaland, as we always mentioned, is always a good captaincy choice from all the different seasons we played FPL already. The bench in this case still also has still on the bench. We have Mati Cash, Kayode, who was very good last season, and Kusi Asare, who will be playing Chelsea. So that is how draft two looks like. But like I've mentioned, these keep on adapting and changing, and it's something that we're going to look forward to. Now, more importantly, like I mentioned, FPL is live. I do try to make sure I go to, because I know there's a number of people that follow my channel that are quite new. So it's important that those that are just starting on true FPL, you also still get up to date on how to play the game and all that. So my team is already loaded. I've joined in a group, a few leagues that I'll be sharing with you so that you can also be able to participate in. Just head to fantasy.premierleague.com, or you can go to your Google Play Store, your App Store, and get the Fantasy Premier League app, install it, set up your team, and get ready to get started. You see there's now just a total number of 733 players, 733,000 players by now. Those that played last season, we know about, I think, 13 or 15 million, between 12 to 15 million, I believe. So it was quite a number. So there's quite a number still that are still signing up, but it's still early days, like I mentioned, because we still have a couple of weeks to the deadline. But this is how, for example, the team does look like. I'm still playing around. This is part of what I already showed you. Now, someone like Krupi Jr., I believe, could be a good steal, really. He could be a steal for us, but we wait to see how all of this, because he was moved from striking to the midfield position. And with all the number of exits that have left Bournemouth, he could have now a very nailed starting position. And he already starts as a striker. He's on penalties when he's on the pitch as well. So someone like Krupp is also good enough. Gibbs White, like we saw his inspiration really the whole of last season. He was the outstanding player for Nottingham Forest. So someone like that is still worth a shout and worth considering really. So as you notice, the team is still a work in progress. The team is still on its way. The deadline, like I mentioned, is the 21st. It will be a Friday. Arsenal versus Coventry will be the first game. Maybe just to take you through a few leagues that we are signing up to. I'm going to have a specific video which will come here specifically to guide you through some of these invitational leagues. I do have a league, for example, called the Anatomy Tree. There's the EPL Pundits that I'm a part of as well. There's the Fantasy Experts. There's the Kandanda Fantasy League. There's the No Guts, No Glory, Sports Hub, and quite a number that are still on the way. Both of these have head-to-heads and also have just the normal primary leagues involved in them. And I'll be sharing these codes, these the right people to contact, so that you can be able to join in some of these leagues and earn something as long as you play the game and as you have fun with building your FPL community and following other FPL nerds all together. I think that is it really from my side. I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Comment, guide, tell me how your drafts are coming up. Give me feedback on how the different drafts that I've shared with you look like, or how what you feel about them, your options, your opinions about them. And yeah, catch you next time. Take care. God bless you.